The hum of fluorescent lights was the only sound in the narrow basement room. Noah stood still, palms open, barely breathing. Across from him, seated on a plastic chair, Dr. Lena Cray watched him with calm intensity, eyes sharp, pen resting idle on her yellow legal pad. "Feel anything?" she asked, barely above a whisper. Noah didn't answer. His heart raced too loudly in his chest. This was not what he had signed up for. He'd expected breathing exercises, maybe meditation, not a woman in her 60s asking him to move energy across space with his hands like it was nothing. But then again, none of this had been expected. Not the panic attacks, not the restless nights, not the moment he saw the ad online. First Steps in Energy Control, a practical study based on Rupert Sheldrake's theory of morphic fields. And now he was here. Something tingled in his fingertips. Maybe just blood flow, maybe something else. Noah closed his eyes. The silence shifted, as if the air itself leaned in. Then he spoke, slowly. "It's warmer, between my hands, like I'm holding something invisible." Dr. Cray didn't move. "Keep your hands where they are, just describe it. It's like pressure, not strong but real, like I could squeeze it." "Good." A loud bang startled them both. A door upstairs. Noah's concentration broke, the sensation vanished. He stepped back, flexing his hands, embarrassed. Dr. Cray set the notepad down. "That was real, you felt something. And you weren't pretending." "That's the first step." Noah exhaled hard. "I feel crazy." "You're not, you're sensitive, there's a difference." He sat across from her, avoiding eye contact. The basement was part of a run-down old community center just outside Boston. The floor smelled faintly of mold. The heating barely worked, but there was something about her, something grounding. She wasn't trying to sell anything. No crystals, no incense, just curiosity and calm confidence. "Why do you do this?" he asked suddenly. Dr. Cray took a moment, like the answer mattered. "Because when people start to feel what they've ignored their whole lives, they stop being afraid of themselves." She let the silence linger. "You're here because something inside you broke open. Most people shove it down, try to forget. But you showed up." Noah looked at his hands again. "I'm not special. Doesn't matter, the work is." The door creaked upstairs again, probably another class letting out. She glanced at the clock. "Tomorrow? Same time?" Noah hesitated. Everything in his life lately had been noise. This place was the first place that made him stop. "Yeah," he said. "Tomorrow." He walked out into the cold Boston evening, the air crisp with October's first bite. Cars honked in the distance, someone laughed too loudly across the street, and still, something in his hands tingled faintly, like the room hadn't let go. The next day, Noah arrived 5 minutes early. He sat in his car staring at the chipped bricks of the community center, debating whether to go in. Part of him wanted to turn around, drive back to his apartment in Cambridge and forget this ever happened. But his hands, they still remembered that pressure. When he finally stepped into the basement, Dr. Cray was already waiting, seated in the same chair, sipping tea from a thermos. "Welcome back," she said, as if he'd been gone much longer than 24 hours. He nodded and sat opposite her again. This time she didn't ask him to do anything right away. Instead, she handed him a worn, spiral-bound notebook. "Keep notes," she said. "Everything you feel, even if it seems stupid or small, especially then." He flipped through the first few blank pages, unsure what to write. She gestured for him to place the notebook aside. "Today, we're going to talk about attention." "Like focus?" Noah asked. "Not exactly. Attention isn't just mental, it's physical. You ever walk into a room and feel like someone's watching you?" "Sure. That's attention. It has weight. Rupert Sheldrake calls it a morphic field. Some cultures call it life force, others call it awareness. But whatever it is, it's not all in your head, it moves and you can train it." Noah shifted in his chair. "Okay. So how?" "Doctor." Cray stood, walked to a cabinet and pulled out a soft rubber ball. She tossed it to him. "Put all your focus into your right hand. Not just mentally, really feel every inch of your palm. Then toss the ball to your left hand, and as it crosses, move your attention with it. He furrowed his brow but tried. Toss, catch, again toss, catch. You're thinking too much, she said. Let your body teach you. He closed his eyes, tried again. Slower this time, toss. The ball passed through the air. His awareness followed, not just his eyes or reflexes, but something deeper. His chest warmed slightly. His left hand closed around the ball with surprising accuracy. He opened his eyes. Dr. Cray gave a small nod. Better. That was weird. Real, she corrected. You moved your attention. That's energy control at its simplest. Feel, focus, follow. The world's full of distractions. But if you can anchor your awareness, even in something this small, you stop being pulled around by everything else, he finished. She smiled. Exactly. They repeated the exercise with different objects, lighter ones, heavier ones. Then without objects at all, just the feeling of passing awareness from one point to another. By the end of the hour, Noah wasn't sure what he'd learned, but he felt different. More aware of space, of sensation, of stillness. As he left, she called after him. Write down what you felt. The mind forgets, but the body remembers when reminded. Out on the sidewalk, the wind had picked up. Noah shoved his hands into his jacket pockets and smiled to himself. He had felt it. Again. The third session didn't go as planned. Noah showed up late, rushed, flustered, shoulders tight. He apologized as he slipped into the chair, eyes darting toward his phone. You don't have to explain, Dr. Cray said gently, but leave that at the door. She gestured toward the phone. He hesitated, then powered it off and dropped it into a wooden bowl near the entrance. Rough day? She asked. Meeting ran over. Boss dumped a surprise deadline. My roommate's fighting with his girlfriend again. And traffic. He trailed off, rubbing his face. I'm not in the right headspace. Dr. Cray nodded, unfazed. That's perfect. He raised an eyebrow. Perfect? She leaned forward. Energy control doesn't mean waiting for peace and quiet. It means learning to redirect chaos, especially when it's inside you. Noah exhaled slowly. Let's work with where you are, she said. Close your eyes. He obeyed, though reluctantly. His thoughts were a mess. Images of emails, arguments, unfinished tasks flashed behind his eyelids. Now, she continued, imagine all of that, the noise, the anger, the stress. It's smoke, not solid, just floating. And your body is a container, not a prison. Let it move. He tried. At first it was hard to even sit still. His jaw clenched, his knees bounced. But gradually, with her slow voice guiding him, something started to shift. I don't think I'm doing this right, he muttered. You don't need to, she replied. There's no right, just be honest. I feel heavy. Where? My chest and my forehead, like pressure. Good, that's where we start. She stood and walked behind him. I'm going to place my hands near your shoulders. I won't touch you, just stay open. He nodded. As her hands hovered near his upper back, he felt it again. The strange, subtle sensation. Like a warm current. Not heat exactly, but presence. He didn't want to admit it, but part of him wanted to cry. Not from pain, just release. The tension began to loosen, not all at once, but in layers. After several minutes, she stepped away. He opened his eyes, surprised by how different the room looked. Brighter somehow, quieter, even though the sounds hadn't changed. I didn't think I could get calm today, he said quietly. You didn't, she answered. You made space for calm to arrive. Noah blinked, trying to take that in. You're starting to understand, she added. This isn't about escaping life. It's about navigating it with awareness. Energy control starts with noticing where your attention goes and choosing to guide it again and again. He stayed seated a moment longer before finally standing. That was intense, he admitted. You haven't seen intense yet, she said, with a faint smile. As he left, the world outside felt less sharp. The city hadn't changed, but maybe he had, just a little. It was raining when Noah arrived for the fourth session, thick, unrelenting sheets that turned the Boston sidewalks into glistening mirrors. He stepped into the basement dripping, shaking water from his jacket. Dr. Cray handed him a towel without a word. He dried off in silence, his mood subdued. Something was off. He didn't sit. Instead, he paced. "You didn't want to come today," she said, watching him carefully. He stopped mid-stride. "No, I didn't." "Why did you?" He shrugged. "Because something's happening, and I don't understand it, and it scares me." "Good," she said. He scoffed. "How is that good?" "Because it means you're past the easy part." She gestured to the chair. He sat reluctantly. "This session isn't about comfort," she said. "It's about resistance, and resistance always has shape." She walked to the whiteboard, drawing a quick diagram of a circle with arrows pointing out in all directions. "This is your field when you're neutral, receptive, aware." She drew a jagged line cutting through the circle. "This is resistance, fear, guilt, shame, anger. Not bad, not wrong, just dense. It blocks flow." Noah stared at the board, skeptical. "So what? I'm supposed to remove it?" "No," she said. "You're supposed to listen to it." Dr. Cray dimmed the lights, then placed a smooth river stone in his hand. "Close your eyes. Let the weight of this stone anchor you, and when resistance comes up, don't fight it, describe it, name it." He tried. The stone was cool at first, then warmed slightly from his skin. After a few minutes, his jaw clenched again. Something rose in his chest. "There it is," she whispered. "What do you feel?" "Tension in my stomach," he said, eyes still closed, "like I'm bracing for something." "What emotion comes with it?" He paused. "Anger." "Go deeper." "Disappointment." "In myself." Her voice softened. "Let it speak." He swallowed hard. "It says, I don't stick with things, that I'm all talk, that this is just another phase." Silence. "Is that true?" she asked. "I don't know. But you're here." He opened his eyes. "I don't know what I'm doing." "You don't have to. The energy knows." She tapped the board again. "Resistance doesn't mean stop. It means you're touching something real." Noah looked down at the stone in his palm. It felt different now, heavier, but grounding. "This is harder than I thought," he admitted. "Hard means you're alive," she said. They sat in silence for several minutes. No techniques, no diagrams. Just the sound of rain hitting the windows and the quiet recognition of struggle. As the hour ended, Dr. Cray handed him a blank card. "Write down what your resistance said to you. Then tomorrow we'll talk back to it." Outside, the rain had lightened, but his chest still felt stormy. Still, for the first time, he didn't run from it. Noah stared at the index card all morning. He had written the sentence like she asked, "You don't finish things. You're just pretending." The words looked small and harmless in ink, but they felt like a weight in his chest. By the time he arrived at the basement, he looked exhausted. Not physically, but internally worn down. Dr. Cray greeted him with a nod, then walked over to the small table where a candle sat in a glass holder. "We're going to try something different today," she said. Simple but revealing. She lit the candle and turned off the overhead light. The flame danced, small but steady. "This exercise is called push and pull. It's about sensing energetic boundaries, yours, the world's, and where they overlap." She handed him a blindfold. "Seriously?" he said. "Trust me." He slipped it on. Darkness. "Now," she said quietly, "sit in front of the candle. Don't try to do anything. Just tell me what you notice." He sat, hands resting on his knees. At first, he felt nothing, just the warmth of the room, the faint scent of wax. Then he noticed it, a slight warmth on his face, subtle but distinct. "Heat," he said. "Not strong, but it's there. Move your hand slowly toward the flame. Don't touch it. Just feel." He obeyed, inching his palm forward. At about 6 inches away, something shifted. The air felt thicker, like a boundary. "There," he said, "I feel something. Pressure?" "Exactly," she said. "That's not just heat. That's the edge of interaction. Your field meeting another." He stayed still, breathing evenly. "Now pull your hand back." Slowly. The sensation faded, but not completely. It lingered, as if the space remembered him. She continued, "Energy control isn't just about projection, it's about recognition, sensing the subtle, respecting the edge before you move through it." Noah nodded under the blindfold. "Now," she said, "imagine the thought on your card, the doubt. Picture it like a shape. Place it beside you. Don't hold it. Just observe it." He tensed. "Where is it?" she asked. "Left side. Heavy. Like a rock. What shape?" "Rectangular. Sharp edges." "Good. Now push it away." He exhaled. "It resists. Use your attention, not force. Just shift your awareness to the space in front of you." He tried. The shape didn't vanish, but its presence dimmed. "It's quieter," he whispered. "Still there, but smaller." She removed the blindfold. The candle flickered in front of him. "You just directed energy," she said. "Without touching, without effort, just choice." Noah looked at his hands again, then at the card. It still said the same words, but they didn't land quite as hard. "I didn't think I could change how something feels without changing the thing itself," he said. "You just did." The flame sputtered slightly, then steadied. He watched it longer than necessary. Maybe, he thought, the flame had been steady all along, and he was the one finally meeting it without fear. The sixth session began differently. Dr. Cray didn't greet Noah. She was already seated in silence, a pair of small speakers on the floor beside her, connected to an old MP3 player. The room was dim, quiet, the table candle already lit. Noah sat across from her, confused. "What's going on?" he asked. "Today we listen," she said, pressing play. A low hum filled the room, static like a radio between stations. White noise. Noah tilted his head. "That's it?" She nodded. "Close your eyes. Just listen. Don't analyze. Let your attention drift." He sighed and leaned back. The sound at first was nothing. Grating. Meaningless. But after a few minutes, something strange happened. His breathing synced with the rhythmless noise. He heard movement, patterns, shapes. "I think I hear voices," he said, eyes still shut. "Not voices," she said. "Your mind is organizing randomness. That's what attention does. It searches for form. That's your pattern recognition kicking in. But what if you could choose which patterns you follow?" He opened his eyes slowly. "What do you mean?" "You spend most of your life reacting to unconscious patterns. Trauma, fear, expectations. But you can train your awareness to notice those patterns before you step into them." Noah stayed quiet, absorbing that. "You ever find yourself repeating the same mistakes?" she asked. "All the time. That's not weakness, that's untrained attention. Energy flows to habit unless redirected." She turned off the static. "Now we'll try something harder." She handed him a piece of blank paper and a pen. "Write down 3 thoughts that loop in your head regularly, negative ones." He hesitated. "Don't edit them, just write." He wrote, "I always ruin good things. I don't belong anywhere. People only care when I'm useful." Dr. Cray studied the list. "Do you believe these?" "Sometimes," he admitted. "Do you want to?" "No." "Then don't fight them. Redirect them." She had him read each line out loud, then again, slower. On the 3rd round, she stopped him. "Now pause. Take a breath. Feel your body. Where does that thought land?" Noah closed his eyes. "My throat." "Tight. Place your attention there, don't push, just hold it." They sat in silence for nearly a minute. "It's softer," he said. She nodded. "That's energy control, not erasing, reclaiming." For the next 30 minutes, they worked silently. Breath, focus, noticing, naming, moving attention with precision. By the end, the list was still there, but something had changed. The thoughts didn't feel absolute. They felt like options. Before he left, she said, "You've built awareness. Now you have a choice. You can keep living inside old frequencies, or tune into a new one." Noah looked at the speakers, now silent, and nodded slowly. Maybe there had always been something beneath the noise. Maybe he was finally learning how to hear it. Noah arrived 10 minutes early for the final session. The basement felt different now. Not bigger, not cleaner, but somehow more familiar. Like the room had accepted him, or maybe he'd accepted it. Dr. Cray wasn't alone. A man in his 40s stood beside her, adjusting folding chairs into a semicircle. Two women chatted near the back wall. There was a quiet buzz in the air, soft, steady, expectant. Noah stepped in slowly. "Did I miss something?" Dr. Cray looked up, smiling. "Group session today, end of the cycle. You're ready." He froze. "I thought this was one-on-one." It was, but the work doesn't end with yourself. Energy interacts. We grow by seeing ourselves reflected in others. Noah hesitated, then nodded. He chose a seat, folding his hands in his lap. The man beside him introduced himself, Eli from Worcester. The two women were sisters. A younger guy came in late, headphones still in, eyes wary. No one tried too hard. There was no pressure. Once everyone had settled, Dr. Cray stood. "Welcome," she said. "Today we're not learning something new. We're remembering what we've already felt. Attention, resistance, presence. This space is for speaking from the body, not the story." She invited them to share one thing they'd learned in silence. No explanations, just a sentence. When it was Noah's turn, he said, "I don't need to control everything to feel safe." A few heads nodded. Later, they stood in pairs. A simple exercise. Extend your hand toward the other person without touching. Hold awareness there. Feel. It was awkward at first, but then it wasn't. Noah worked with Eli. At one point, he pulled his hand back and laughed quietly. "What?" Eli asked. "I could feel like a difference in the air, like pushing through warm water." "That's real," Eli said, no doubt in his voice. Noah had never felt more sane in his life. At the end, Dr. Cray asked them all to sit again. She lit the candle, now slightly melted from the week. "Energy control isn't about power," she said. "It's about participation. You're not here to dominate your reality. You're here to engage with it, fully awake." Then she looked directly at Noah. "You came in unsure, afraid this was some performance, but you stayed, you listened, and you felt. That's the work." Noah didn't speak. He didn't need to. His chest was open, his breath steady. When the session ended, people hugged, not out of obligation, but recognition. Noah lingered, helping stack chairs. Before he left, he asked Dr. Cray, "What now?" She smiled. "Now, you practice, quietly, constantly, every day, in real life. Not here, in line at the grocery store, in traffic, during an argument. That's where energy control lives." Outside, the late afternoon light was golden. He walked slowly, no headphones, no phone. Just breath, just step after step. He felt everything. And for once, he didn't pull away.